What is up, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome my special guest. He's got the coolest name in the NFL draft, man. If you want something successful, this is the name, Rocky Lombardi.
How's it going, guys? What's up?
Hey, how's it going, bro? I got to admit, you got the coolest name in the draft.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, just think about it. The Rocky statue and then the trophy.
All in one statue.
All in one, but it's got to be the coolest name. But then the sleeper quarterback of the draft by far. Yeah. So tell me about yourself, man.
Yeah. So it's been a long journey. So most recently, I was at Northern Illinois. Was there for 3 years. I started off at Michigan State. Was there 4 years. So I'm a seventh-year guy. Had COVID and a medical, so I've been playing college ball a long time. But yeah, just finished up at NIU. Love to play ball. Love to compete. I played in 4 different sports in high school, so I'm always competing. I always, I'll play I love like board games, card games, any games. I play with my buddies, but I only play to win. That's like my thing. I can't just play for nothing, right? Like you gotta
do something. But I gotta admit, you are the first quarterback I've ever interviewed on any of my draft shows, dude. Like by far. So you got something going good right there. But yeah, you have the more experience. You've been doing this for 7 years, but we're really got you into football at your early age, man.
Yeah. I come from a family of coaches. So my dad was a coach. My grandpa was a coach. My grandpa's wife's dad was a coach. So we got coaches for like 4 generations. And it's just all I've known, is athletics in general, but really football. So just kind of watching him coaching as I grew up and then playing as well. I just love the game. I love the complexity of the game. I love the teamwork aspect. It's just one of the most rewarding sports around, I think.
Oh, it is. So let me ask you this question. Since you have this last name, is there any relations to Vince Lombardi or no?
Not as far as I know.
Oh, man. What about Michael Lombardi?
No,
but it's got the mutual name. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it is crazy. There's a couple Lombardi families bouncing around.
Yeah, the name just seems popular, like the trophy and everything. But yeah, dude, it has to come with your family, like you said. It's been there with your generation. So was there like any other offers besides Michigan State that recruited you, or how did it work?
Yeah. So I committed pretty early in the recruiting process, but I was an Elite 11 quarterback in high school. I'm so old that my class was like Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, Davis Mills, Jake Fromm, Sam Ehlinger, all those guys. So it's been a while, but I had a couple offers coming out of college, probably around 10, I would say. I'm from Iowa, so got offers from both my home state schools, Iowa and Iowa State. Started off with like some MAC and some Ivy offers, and then it kind of grew from there. But I committed pretty early in my junior year. So like obviously the offers would have stopped coming in after that mostly.
Yeah, the offers had to be something because you were like one of them dudes coming out of Iowa, so they had to be some interest. But Michigan State was something that you just went to. So it's like, so what was the experience like when you went to Michigan State?
Yeah, I loved my time at MSU. Had a great time. Coach D'Antonio, I played under for 3 years. That's who I committed to. Great coach, great person. Still one of my favorite people, of all time to this day. Just a really great dude. And I love being a Spartan and being in East Lansing. I got some great memories in Spartan Stadium. Built some long-lasting friendships, lifelong friends that I still talk to this day. So I had a really good time in East Lansing and Michigan State. I was a graduate of MSU, so always part of my heart I'll be a Spartan.
Yeah, and then you go to Northern Illinois. So what was that experience from going over there?
Yeah, it was a cool experience. Entered the transfer portal and ended up choosing Northern. They were 0-6 during the COVID season. Had a rough year, and our head coach, Coach Hammock, called me up and was basically like, "Hey, we're one quarterback and one leader away from a championship." And I was like, "What the heck? I don't know about that. You guys are 0-6. Let me check you out." but they were the second youngest team in college football. And it gave me an opportunity to do what I wanted to do, which was win a conference championship. You know, try to help turn around a program. I wanted to show that I could turn around a program and be at a spot also where I could influence young men. You know, be a leader, be a role model, be somebody who, you know, helps people take those next steps into, you know, whether it's professional ball or you know, the real world.
I mean, you sure did. Like the difference from when you went to Michigan State was you had more opportunities at Northern Illinois. So you kind of like made the difference. Like you just said, you turned around a program that was 0-6 during the COVID years. So what was the adjustment when you had to go through the COVID year, man? Was it really that challenging for me? Because I know a lot of athletes have had difficulties of the facility and other stuff, but what was your experience during that COVID year?
Yeah, it was crazy. There was, you know, limited times you could be in the building. You had to get tested every day. I think we got tested every day at 6 a.m. Um, and then on top of that, at MSU, we had a new staff. So Coach D'Antonio had retired in 2019. We got a new staff. So we didn't get any spring ball, right? We didn't get any chance to put in our new offense. We really even barely got fall camp. So we were just thrown out there in 2020, fresh new offense. Hadn't really practiced much. So it was very challenging for us to figure that out. And you kind of see us get better throughout the year. But it was such a weird year. You know, nobody in the stands. In the Big Ten, you're used to playing in front of 60, 70 plus thousand people, right, every week. And now there's, you know, a couple hundred, right? So it was a really weird year. I think it was hard for people to lock in and fully devote themselves to that season because of all those factors. But yeah, it was a really strange time.
It was because I remember going towards the NFL season, they actually kind of had to go through seasons without no fans out there.
Yeah, it's crazy with no fans.
Yeah, it's just like a ghost town out there. But I mean, just from your experience, I see that I see by your offense, but what was the difference when you were playing at Michigan State compared to Northern Illinois that makes it more translated to the next level?
Yeah, I would say both of them were very much pro style offenses. Maybe Northern a little bit more than Michigan State, but you know, you see a lot of teams in shotgun every play, right? But I've been under center since I was a little kid, right? Taking a lot of reps under center. I understand the run game. I understand how to check the run game, right? Get us into a good play. I understand how to work a wordy offense, right? A lot of pro style offenses are very wordy. Formations, motions, plays. You know, sometimes those spread offenses, the whole play will just be like, you know, red 7, and it's like, there you go. But it's different running into a pro style offense where you have tags for every little thing, and you have to process that and understand it and then be able to execute it on the field. So I think that definitely gives me an advantage.
Yeah, with the most experience out of all of them in college football, you should be able to have a better understanding of it. So, yeah, pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, just from when you declare for the draft, did you meet up with other teams?
So I got to meet with other teams during I went to the CGS College Gridiron Showcase Senior Bowl, and that was a really good experience. Got to talk with a bunch of different teams. I think I talked to like 11 teams at that camp. So got to just kind of talk about myself and, you know, explain who I am to them. You know, obviously they had done their scouting, like they knew who we all were, but to actually get an understanding of the type of people we were and what our values are, how we understand the game, you know, that makes a difference, right? That can be the
Yeah.
difference between a good player and a bad.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're keeping their eyes open for just a quarterback, a guy that needs to like maybe somebody who knows the system and wouldn't have to learn too far off, which you're already ahead of the curve in some ways. But I see that you got a little bit of athleticism in you, like at times. I seen some of that film from Northern Illinois where you're kind of moving a little bit outside the pocket a little bit.
Yeah, I do. I got a little bit of mobility to me. I'll run my 40 in a couple days at my pro day on the 7th. So I'm really excited about that. Just to showcase a little bit of my athleticism, and I don't know if it would be considered sneaky athleticism or not, but I definitely have a little bit in the tank. I got a good top speed, and I'm able to extend plays and make plays outside the pocket. So it's been beneficial for our team over the last couple of years. It's helped us win some games.
Yeah, it's kind of been more of a factor too because you do need somebody that can be a little sneaky at quarterback to move the chains if nothing's open and stuff like that. So it doesn't get talked about much with some quarterbacks being sneaky athleticism.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, sometimes plays don't work, and that's part of the game, right? You're not going to call a perfect play every time. Sometimes the defense calls a perfect coverage, and it doesn't work out. But being able to have that athleticism and extend plays and make plays with your legs, it can really, be the difference between winning and losing games.
Absolutely, that's true. So outside of football, what does Rocky like to do? Just like outside of sports,
Yeah. Well, outside of football, I love to play golf. I know that's a sport, but
it's
uh,
competitive.
yeah, I love to play golf. I'm like a 6 time a week minimum golfer in the summer. I'm talking every day. I'm going to the course, going to the range, working on my short game, like you name it. I'm a golf nut. So anytime it's warm out, I'm from the Midwest, so anytime it's warm out, you can find me on the course for sure. Other than that, though, I watch some movies. I've turned into a little bit of a not a movie buff, but definitely like to watch movies. It happened in college, right? College, you got nothing to do, living by yourself, so you start to watch some movies. I'm starting to get into some TV shows, but yeah, like during the summer, especially if it's warm out, or if I like live down south, it's golf all the time. So that's my passion.
Yeah, golf is something else. It's a little more competitive, like you said, the long shots or whatever they do over there. Like it's I don't know. It's frustrating if I had to do that, man. Try to make the hole or something like that, man.
Yeah, it's a frustrating game. It teaches you how to be patient. You compete against each other, you compete against yourself. Golf's definitely taught me some lessons that are applicable to quarterback and football. It's an interesting game.
Yeah, it's got more to do with the focus part of and then the accuracy too, a little where you aim at the whole area or something. That's
Yeah.
another challenging part of the game. And then the one other focus of other sports that I do sometimes is like bowling. Bowling's something that I enjoy doing because of the arm stuff and other things
Mhm.
that kind of make like doesn't bowling kind of relate a little bit with football when it comes to throwing a little bit?
Yeah, I can see that. I can see some similarities. I enjoy bowling myself. I don't get to go very often, but actually, when I was at Northern, the quarterbacks there was like a special deal on Tuesday. There's like $1 bowling game or something, But we always used to go every Tuesday, and we all sucked at first, but we got better.
Gotta
You,
get
you
better
start
at
to
it,
learn.
yeah.
But it's fun. It's a fun sport, and definitely a lot of balance, a lot more balance than you think in bowling.
Yeah, there is a lot of balance because you got to be able to make that pin or something or have a better technique at it. It takes perfection sometimes, but it takes a while. But the one that's more challenging to me is it could be tennis too, man, because it has to go with your foot, like the way you move, the way you keep track. You have to keep up with the next competitor and stuff. That's the more challenging one.
Yeah, tennis. I'm not. I've played a little bit of tennis in my day. More pickleball. Not the same, but similar. You ever play pickleball?
Nah.
No, it's like mini tennis, but it's fun. I play it with my family, and we like to go, and there's a nice like place in Des Moines where it's like a pickleball court and like a bar and a grill. So you go out and you have a couple drinks, play pickleball with your family. It's a fun time.
Oh, seems like it. The way you kind of describe it seems kind of fun.
Yeah, they got like games there too. It's a it's a fun time. It's a good time.
Seems like it, but so like from all the teams you like met with, like you said 11 teams, but what were the teams that you met with the most?
Um, I don't know if I think I met with everybody once, but I was real fortunate to be able to talk to so many teams and had so many good conversations, and um, it was good to see people were interested in me, and obviously I'm interested in them and their organizations. So it was just a good opportunity for me to be able to tell my story, and just kind of get to talk to them and them get to know me a little bit, just about what I'm about, what kind of player, what kind of person I am.
Yeah, you're gonna show them who you are. So it's like, so why should they even draft you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you have to understand what type of person they are at the quarterback position. I think especially, um, because as the quarterback, you have to be the leader, right? You have to be the leader of the team, and you get that opportunity to lead a team. And people don't want to follow a crappy person. Uh, so it's important to be a good person and to be respectful of your teammates and understand how they want to be coached. Right? Some guys can handle getting yelled at. Some guys can handle getting ripped if they make a mistake. Other guys can't. But as a quarterback, it's your job to understand those little intricacies within your team and to be able to maximize each person's potential.
Yeah, quarterback has leadership qualities and they have to be accountable for what they do. So if they make a mistake, that's on them. But if they feel like somebody's making a mistake, they got to call them out in some ways. And it can either be good or bad, but it's always the most important position in football. So you just happen to play the most important position.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun, honestly, because it's like I said earlier about football. It's so complex, right? And my position is the most complex. Um, and it's like a puzzle to me. It's so much fun to learn. Uh, Learning. I remember when I was younger, I had to learn about fronts and uh, just basics of coverages and route schemes, and to see my knowledge progress to now, where you're learning, specifics about alignments and coverage tells and blitz tells, and you're learning about protections and run schemes, and it's just there's so many layers to this game that I really love, and it's so much fun to learn and to because you think you're there, right? You think you're there with the knowledge, and then there's just this whole nother wave of knowledge that just hits you in the face, and you're like, oh my gosh, I still have so much to learn. There's so many details and layers to this game.
Yeah, there is. And that's what makes it so more responsible. Like, it's not only just the head coach or the OC, it's usually the quarterback who has to make the plays. So it's like you have your own leadership with the guy on the offense, and then you got the center, which, that's the quarterback of the offensive line. So you got responsibilities and different perspective. But I think whatever team takes a chance on you, man, they're at least getting somebody that understands the position well. So I think you would be a very capable quarterback who can step in if injuries happen, or maybe down the road, you never know. Hey, opportunities present itself. Maybe you'll probably make something big in the league.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can ask for, right? Is an opportunity. So, I think whatever team gets me will get somebody who understands the game, who understands the locker room, um, and is all about making the team better. I think that's the most important part.
Oh yeah. So why do you feel like you don't get enough attention for this draft, man?
It's a good question. I would say mostly just statistics, probably. I don't have a ton of stats. I mean, I do have a ton of stats, but each each year, I don't throw for that many yards. I think I threw for around 2,300 maybe last year. Um, efficiently, but it's not going to pop out as some of the other numbers would, right? Like there's multiple guys threw for 4,000 yards this year, and I'm throwing 2,300. It's pretty easy to overlook when you're not throwing the ball as much.
Well, limited production does speak for itself, and then, like you said, the part of not enough playing experience. Because you played a lot of games, but a lot of starts. You played a lot of years, and then you played more at Northern Illinois. So I think when you went to Northern Illinois, you put up better numbers after that.
Yeah. Oh, I've definitely gotten better each year. 21 was a good year. 22 started off really, really good before I got hurt. And then I had another solid year in 23. So I'm not even, I haven't reached my potential yet. My best football is ahead of me for sure. Um, and that's part of the reason why I love quarterback too, is because you can always improve at that position, right? There's so much to learn through repetitions and just through acquiring knowledge in the classroom and through the film. So it's a really fun position for me to play, and definitely the experience helps. Definitely
Yeah,
does.
yeah, it does for you because you got a lot of good experience out of it. But who do you model your game after, man? Like it's got to be somebody that you look up to and say, man, this guy is really good.
Yeah. I would say I don't know if I necessarily model my game after anybody because I just want to keep improving myself, right? Like no two people are the same, and that's not to say that you can't have role models or look up to somebody who you want to play like, but it's going to work a little bit differently for everybody else. So I try to just improve on the things that I need work on specifically. But I do like to watch guys in the league too. I think I have a little bit of Josh Allen in me. I love watching him play. He's a fierce competitor, physical. He's not afraid to run the rock, and he's got a big arm. Uh, I think Joe Burrow is another guy who I love watching. He's just so smooth and clean, very smart, quick processor. He's got good feet. Those are two of the young guys I like to watch. I remember I watched Brady a lot when I was younger too. Obviously Brady's the GOAT, right? But
Yeah, Brady has mastered that position for decades. It's like out of the question. I mean, if you learn from Brady, you're learning something how to be great. I mean, Josh Allen, I've watched this kid before. I watched him coming out of Fireball. He went to a junior college for a short year, but I remember this guy. He wasn't that big yet, but once he went into Wyoming, he got bigger and got better. But injuries were like the question mark out of the guy, but he got better. So that's one thing I liked about Josh Allen was he got bigger and stronger. But Joe Burrow, he just had that it factor when he was healthy.
yeah, Joe's a little different, and I think that's part of the reason why I like Josh too is because him and I kind of have gone through similar career paths where he's just continuing to get better and find himself, right? These last couple of years, he's been better almost every year. And I think I'm kind of in that same spot where my best football is still ahead of me.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep learning and keep growing and every year get better.
Yeah, and he just keeps getting better with the way he's playing. I mean, he was overlooked. Like I remember this guy wasn't getting much recruiting because I was just like, because I guess at the time he wasn't that big of a quarterback, but he got bigger, and that's what got him to go to Wyoming. But he just had that arm talent that everybody was talking about, but it was the accuracy that everybody was questioning. But you got to master it, and he eventually mastered that. So it took time, and
Yeah,
usually it
it's a
takes time for
process.
some quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's a process. We all have had accuracy issues, and we all can continuously get better at with our accuracy. And I know that that's been something that I've focused on too, especially these last couple of years. Started working with a quarterback coach, Tony Rasiopi, who's really helped me, and I'm as accurate as ever now. It's crazy the difference between even between now versus in 2021, 2 years ago, where we still had a good year, but how much more accurate I have become over those last couple of years. It's showing, and same for Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, it is. But since you're in that situation, man, like how can you convince those other teams to just say, "Hey, just you need to draft me, man. I'll make your franchise better."
Yeah, well, I think I just need to get them to watch my tape. Really, that's what it is. Like I said, 2023, really my last couple of years, I just I've thrown efficiently, but it just hasn't been flashy numbers. I haven't thrown for 3,000, 4,000 yards. But if you sit there and you watch the tape and you really dissect how I'm playing, I'm throwing pretty efficiently for the amount of the attempts that I'm getting. And I think that the physical traits speak for themselves, right? I have the size, I have the arm talent, I have the athletic ability, and those are just facts, right?
I
That's just
mean,
how.
you were like very limited on the offense, so you were just only doing what you were doing. So, but you did a very efficient job. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe you showcase more at the next level because I've seen quarterbacks who probably weren't doing a lot because they were mostly running the ball. Like you had a lot of other quarterbacks like that. I mean, I think, for example, here's another example: Brock Purdy. I don't think he was what he was at Iowa State. It took
Yeah.
like he was more of a limited guy. They were running the ball mostly, like very limited in certain areas. You had CJ Beathard also in Iowa. They were mostly running. So
Mhm.
just because they were very limited in college doesn't mean they're going to be great at the next level. They had to get opportunities to showcase that.
Yeah, no doubt. And we were fortunate to have good running backs and a great O line. And you know what? Running the ball, it tended to work most times. So it's whatever it is for that's best for the team and to help the team win. And I'm not out there stat chasing. I'm
No
there to
stat
win
chase. It's
games.
all about winning.
Yeah, it's all about winning. That's the only stat that matters. So, you do what you can, and I think the rest will take care of itself. I think once people sit down and evaluate the tape, I think they'll get a better understanding of what type of player I am.
Oh yeah, like I like this attitude. Like it's not even about the stats; it's about getting the win. So you're more of a team player. You're not that kind of guy that's just gonna put up the numbers and put us in bad situations. You seem like the kind of guy that's just gonna do the job, be efficient at it.
Yeah, I like to win, man. I like to win. That's about all I like to do. So everything else doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So I could just tell, like, if I had to give you this question, you're probably just gonna go with this one, obviously. So I'm gonna go with this question right here, and let me see if you kind of get it right. Let's say you go over 400 yards passing and have maybe about a couple touchdowns, but lose in that column. But let's say you go like maybe almost 200 yards and maybe get one touchdown, but your running game is so good. Which one would you prefer?
Do we win in the second game?
On the second option, you do.
Then yeah, we'll go with that. We're
See,
gonna
that's
go
what
with
I'm
the win.
saying. I'm already getting the attitude. That's why I was going to ask you that question, but you already kind of cleared that answer right there. Like if you were just going over like 180 or 90 and your running game was outstanding and you were already winning the game, seems pretty obvious to go with that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've had games in my career, and just in one season, 2021 alone, we played Bowling Green, and I think I threw 8 passes total, and we won the game. But a couple weeks later, we played Kent State, and I threw for like 536 yards, and we ended up losing like 54-47 or something.
Damn,
The
500 yards
It was like 530 something. I don't know. It's the school
in that
record.
in that loss column. See, there's a
It was
difference,
a
man. If
loss.
it's a
It
loss, no
was a
matter how you look
loss.
at it. But so on that game, you had a Jimmy Garoppolo type of performance in that championship. You had 8 passes, man. This guy completed 6 passes, and we won to the Super Bowl.
It's crazy. I mean, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. So whatever it takes to win.
Oh yeah. So let me see if this is one of the teams you met with. Have you met with the Niners or no?
I have not, but they are coming to my pro day.
Ooh, I gotta write that down for the pro day, man. But I gotta say, bro, the attitude speaks for itself. You care about winning more than the numbers, and that's what matters.
Yeah,
But you see,
absolutely. Yeah, I'll make sure to say hi to the Niners guy for you. I can see the Niners flag in the background.
yeah, they're friendly. There's a lot of other fans out there too, but I'm pretty sure whoever takes a chance on you, bro, you're gonna succeed wherever you go. And I gotta give a shout out to your dad for showing me some of those other films that I had to check out. He reached out to me. He's very supportive and very nice guy. So I gotta give him a thank you for that part.
Yeah, he's got all the tape, man.
Yeah, he was already sending me the tapes, but he was just like reaching out and asking me, "Oh, are you gonna do some podcast with my son or something?" And I guess Will was talking about it, and then Will was kind of coming into conclusion about it. He says, "Hey, you need to get my boy Rocky in. You need to get him in." And I said, "Bro, I'll see what I could do."
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure being here. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh yeah, anytime, bro. So for everybody else, man, just introduce who you are and tell them why you should be drafted, man.
Yeah, I'm Rocky Lombardi. I am a quarterback out of Northern Illinois, and I think that I should be picked because I got experience. I understand leadership qualities. I really think that one of my greatest strengths is my football intelligence. I've studied the game for a long time. I've seen a lot of stuff on the field and on tape, and I have a really good understanding of the game in general. So I think those are the big 3 things for me.
Oh, absolutely, bro. I love this attitude, and I do wish you the best of luck. We'll definitely keep you updated, man. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna wish you luck and root for you, man, because it seems to me you have the great qualities of what a quarterback should be at the next level, man.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, bro. And anytime, and thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, we'll see y'all there. Hey, shout out to Rocky Lombardi. Let's wish this guy luck from Northern Illinois. Go check this kid out.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem, man.